Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey. In this video, I'm going to be providing an update for Oden, as well as, again, of making this video available for those who are dealing with the issue of reactivity by way of separation anxiety, issues associated with the crate, as well as housebreaking, how all these things factor in, how they all align in terms of a relationship problem. So again, Oden came in here a couple days ago. Clearly apparent that he was very much dealing with stress, very uncertain, not wanting to be, led, okay, in terms of, brought under intentional control and influence. And so, again, you watched my first video I put out, where I'm wearing the gloves, really kind of sketchy at that moment, that kind of defining moment of connection, okay, of starting to advocate properly. So again, since that time, again, and this plays into what was happening in his home environment with his owners, issues related to the crate, with expressing control inside the crate, okay, through doing number one, number two, and the same things were not number two part, thank goodness, but number one here a couple times. We'll talk about that in terms of control manifesting, okay, the issue about a relationship problem. But again, the key thing here is about change itself. How change is defined in and through a intentional interaction-based method that brings the right ingredients in. I talk about this, control and influence, okay, by way of change. So again, those are the things that are going to start to diminish that state of mind. That's going to start to change Oden's perceptions. That's going to cause him to start to relax, come into agreement inside, say, the crate, as well as everything that goes along with that, taking the stress load off of him. So again, when you look at this though, it's representative of, both, again, this is some of the things that factor into this, is his need level. Understand all dogs have the same type of need at the social, dogs as social animals, talk about the drive of a dog, but some, have a greater need, okay? So I talk about the parent examples, like some children, need a stronger parent, okay? And so you look at the breeds of dogs, pit bulls, German shepherds, Mals, cane corso, such as with Oden. So that you have to factor that in. So therefore, leadership, your role is even more critical, okay, to maintain a balanced relationship. So when I say balance, not the balance that in terms of trainers, it's balance in the sense of the dog perceiving you the right way, okay, stress-free, being able to, again, enjoy the relationship without dealing with these issues. So understand this is representative too of a high level of emotional connection going on at the same time through the human, okay? So, once that starts to branch out that way, then again, this starts to really become a problem, because then, the crate itself, by way of control, because understand that's control, you're controlling the dog through the crate. He's saying, okay, I don't understand here. I'm in full control. I'm gaining, empowerment through how I'm connecting with the human, at the emotional side of things, and yet, they're trying to control me with the crate. I'm just not going to put up with it, okay? And that's where you get the protests, the whining, the stress. And in Oden's case, we'll talk about that, even expressing through marking, okay, urination, number two, that was happening with his owners even, very, very frustrating issue to deal with, because again, understand, but this all relates to, a relationship problem. And so, but again, understand that even with, and this is, one of the things that, again, pay attention to, you can tell right away, is that when you take the dog out to the bathroom, okay, they're withholding, okay? They're not fully expressing, they're not releasing through their bladder. They're withholding for this purpose of expressing control, marking, okay? And you'll see that. You'll say, wow. So that's why dogs go outside, come back in, right? Marking behaviors, expressing that state, and even inside the crate, where they're saying they're kind of angry about everything, okay? Saying, okay, wanting that fulfillment that way. And so that becomes a major problem. So again, how do you reverse? That's the question. How do you reverse when this starts to happen? Well, again, the right method has to come online through the core ingredients, okay? Control and influence. And you have to start to intercept okay, that state of mind, versus changing focus. Understanding so much out there about using treats, trying to shift focus. No, that's all you're doing, you're shifting focus, okay? You have to actually intercept that state of mind, okay? So this is the role of influence, being proactive, okay? So being proactive means, okay, even in the crate, this is where, when Oden is in the crate, okay, and then again, this is where the remote collar, okay, as a tool comes in very handy that way, specifically through this system of training for typically just for the crate, okay, and so able to communicate, be able to get the dog to relax, okay. So at first, when you're doing this, when you put the dog in the crate, again, you'll see it stressed and shaky. And then again, you want to center them, which means that you're kind of selectively intercepting moments of forwardness. Okay, if a dog is trying to get their teeth in the crate, they're trying to really. So even this is where you can use low stem. Okay, vibration isn't going to work. But again, here's the other thing to keep in mind. I talk about the role of the remote collar. Okay, and why it is that you talk about finding the working level or having to use this at a high level. That typically is because the core ingredients I talk about are not part of a process, okay? So if they're not part of the process, they're not coming in the right way through, again, a intentional interaction-based method, okay? Again, it creates this type of a disconnect. I talk about device awareness, where you can never get the remote collar off the dog, okay? Because the dog's saying, okay, this ain't making sense, okay? This isn't lining up, okay? Dogs are amazing animals. They can tell if you're the real deal, okay? Real deal mean being set in your parenting style, so to speak, in terms of how those core ingredients are coming in through how you're interacting with, okay? It's filtering through that way, and then everything lines up, and therefore changes the role of the remote collar. The dog's gonna be more receptive, okay, to it, okay? You don't have to stem the dog at a high level, that's not what this is about. This is about everything coming together. This makes more sense. Then this can go away at a certain point. This can actually, just like the crate can go away at a certain point. They're means to an end, okay? They're a temporary tool because it's about you. It's about the relationship. It's not about these tools are an extension of you, okay? Understand, always keep that in mind. So when you start making these as the pivot point, you got a problem, okay? This is where problems develop. So again, this is a great tool if it's in conjunction with the right method that brings in the core ingredients the right way. Then it makes sense to the dog. Dog's going to be more sensitive, more receptive to. And again, this would bring it down to typically just vibration. But again, when you're dealing with this type of issue, okay, with the crate, okay, you want the dog to start to relax, start to go into a down. So what you're going to do is you're going to be working towards the dog's going into a down position in that crate, okay? Consistently for a period of time when the dog's in there. When the dog's up on its feet, the mind is starting to work. It's stinking thinking, okay? It's already a problem because you're already in the middle of a relationship problem, okay? So you want to really work towards, working that to a level where the dog is starting to let it go, relax. And so here in this situation here, one of the things that's factored in, again, cane corso, 9 months, connecting with his owners, right? Emotion. And so we're at that level now. Now this is a reversal situation, okay? And so, he doesn't like it, okay? I mean, because, advocating. Now here's the interesting thing, okay? Again, lack of sleep for me last couple nights, because he's out here protesting, going on. And, I'll take him out to the bathroom, right? He's stubborn, he's withholding. You'll see this with dogs. They'll go a long time when this is lined up this way because it's about control. It's about fulfillment. And so they'll get stubborn. They'll say, you know what, I don't want to play this. I want to be able to express control where I want to express control. And they'll withhold, and you'll see it. They're like, wow, this is why the crate's important, because it lines it up. And so when the dog, when the dog does go, even still be aware, okay, you have to keep a high level of structure going because the dog's still withholding a certain level of, pee, okay, urine, for the express purpose of marking, okay? That will diminish. So here, kind of put a little graph chart here to see how it diminishes. And this is one of the factors, this is one of the indicators. We want, information as to, okay, change. You'll see the dog start to fully release, okay, as change is happening out in your designated area. Okay, I see that happens a lot with the dogs I work with, and that's one of the indicators that the dog's perceptions are changing. Okay, they're not withholding a certain amount anymore for the express purpose of expressive control that way. Okay, so that's one of the things that factor in. So understanding here again, we'll go to the issue here of Oden reactivity. Doesn't like protest in the crate because he wants to be connected with the human to be empowered that way. Okay, major problem. And so this is why, again, to get this resolved. So interesting, because again, interesting as he's protesting and going on for a period of time, and then I come out and I take him out to the bathroom anyway, withholding, and then I come in here and I sit down at my desk area, so I'm right in his visual for a few minutes. Guess what he does? Goes right to sleep. Okay, just like that. Boom, out. Why? Ask yourself the question, why so suddenly is he going to go to sleep? Because association through comfort through the human, not in a good way, right? Say, okay, the human that I own, not me, okay, but association through his own, okay, because that's the way, I got comfort, so that's a separation anxiety thing. So when you leave the immediate area of your dog, right, the stress starts to happen. Think about that, starts to, okay, what's going on here? So again, that's it right there, that's an indicator, okay, and then when I leave again, right, okay, then it starts up again. Right, start to protest, the whining, the barking, the craziness. And again, then what do? You have to go back to the remote collar. This is where I have a camera system out here. So I have the app. I can selectively work Oden's mind, okay, which I've been doing here consistently. This is like a big part of this, to get him to relax, okay? So this is like a work in progress thing. This has to happen. Meanwhile, at the same time, guess what has to happen too? Is the owner, the trainer, need to, again, in terms of interactions that are happening on a daily basis, bring those core ingredients into the equation to line this all up. Okay, so everything's got to come together the right way for a dog to start to proceed differently. Stress can come off the dog. Dog comes into agreement with the crate because now the crate makes sense based on control, based on what's happening in the relationship. Everything lines up. Okay, so again, this is a work in progress. And so again, you see all the things with the the protest part, and so comfort, and again, so when you talk about diminishment, this is where you see it. Even when I talk about the interactions themselves, okay, they're your litmus test, okay, because again, the dog coming into agreement with, okay, that's the test. It's not about the sit down, come and stay that way through using motivating agents. You don't want to do that. That's not a way to assess anything, okay, and you're assuming typically wrongly. So it's got to come through the interaction part with the core ingredients, and the dog will start to, again, as the dog starts to come into agreement with, then this is where commands come online. Everything goes, it's like going through a sequence. So it's like cleaning, you need to clean the relationship up first. And so here with Oden, same thing. So, so again, that marking, again, is that type of thing, even inside the crate. Once you hit that level, that's a bad sign, okay, with any dog. Okay, they're going inside that crate. You have to start to work it this way. You need to bring the remote collar online, the method online, and then here, and this is where I save the reward, and it's just like a reserve wine, okay? And so he's doing number 2 consistently in the designated area, okay? Thank goodness for that, okay? That's something, again, having to clean up that's a terrible situation to be in. And so for Oden in here, he's marked a couple times in that crate. In fact, I caught him in the act, so I was able to put some level of negative on him, okay, to intercept that. And so you have to, again, but again, at the same time, the method coming together to make sense for the dog. So again, I want to put this video out because, again, if you're dealing with this type of issue with any dog, this can be very, very challenging. The issue with separation anxiety. But again, it's important to understand that it comes through, redefining your role, okay? Seeing you the right way, meeting your dog's, need level that way. And so with the method, with the structure, okay, the crate, and then combined with certain tools, everything can come together, and you'll see it. You can see it through, again, dog withholding a certain level of P in their system, okay, for the express purpose of marking. But again, when you bring the dog in after that, you want to keep that structure going. Highly defined structure, because you don't want to present the opportunity, okay, for the dog to express that way. You want to start to shut that down. You understand, this is all temporary. This is a temporary process. And again, change is happening, okay, because that's the thing, everything is set, okay? Everything is kind of set in place. My thinking is a certain way, so this is a great thing about the board and training, But again, at the same time, working with his owners, okay, so that they're online, which they are, you know, in terms of just keeping this going, okay, keeping the same level going. Because again, when he goes back into the home environment, you gotta put it to the test. Like, is this real? Okay, and it's like the answer is, well, yes, it is. Okay, and so, but again, what that does is it transfers everything over. That's why I stop at 2 weeks, because you know, doing a board and train, 2 weeks is a kind of a transition over point. If you go longer than say a 2 week board and train, then you have to ask yourself the question, well, what is the focus on? I mean, the owners need to change. Okay, this is meant to give the owners a boost. This can be a great option, so long as, again, you stop at a certain point, you bring the owners into the equation, and then again, this will transfer over. Great, okay? But it's understanding what the process is. But again, I really want to, I can't say this enough, the right process, okay? Interaction based, that is absolutely key. Without that, forget it, okay? So with that, online, okay, interacting with and bringing those core ingredients in, you'll see change happening. It's going to reverse, okay? And it is reversing now with Oden. He's starting to, you know, but it's a process. You know, this is especially the first initial few days, highly challenging, because you're dealing with a, you know, issue related to control, relationship. You know, it can be very entrenched in some dogs, but you have to just keep moving forward, and everything will work out great. Thanks for watching.